Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. I was just perusing YouTube, as you do. CBN News, possibly American news channel, I believe. Um, Shroud of Turin, expert evidence is beyond all doubt is the name of the video. And obviously, I made the video there with Mel Gibson talking about the Shroud of Turin. And he was claiming that someone had, they'd been looking at it, and that there was evidence to suggest it was as old as the CDs, and it was in effect the. I mean, I don't even think we've explained what the Shroud of Turin is in any of these videos. That's the other side of it. Once Jesus was crucified, I believe there was the shroud that he was placed in, and after his death, and how Mel Gibson described the imprint being made on the cloth. You would need an atomic light, a light of like atomic. I can't remember how we phrased it, to be honest. Um, but just interesting and amazing stuff. To be honest, interesting and amazing stuff. And again, when he said that sort of like atomic light, you're kind of thinking of it's like a godly thing. You know what I mean? The whole story is in essence based in God, and this is the Son of God, and the resurrection, and this is the tale, so to speak, and the atomic light could have been some sort of energy to reincarnate the body in some way. I mean, we're dealing with, to say all this be true, of God's angels, demons, and devils, which it looks like it probably is, to be honest. We're dealing with forces and shit here we don't understand, because it's not worldly, it's outer worldly, it's spiritual, it's another plane or realm or something. It's not this. This isn't what it is. It's like, again, I often have these conversations with people, and we talk about what happens next when we die. And I know a fella whose wife died, and he misses his wife very much, to be honest. And we often talk about what comes next, and his belief um, is that he will see his wife again, and then they will sit together. And it's kind of that belief's been given to him by religion in a way. Not that he is massively religious, but when you're growing up and they teach you of this heaven and hell and all this kind of crack, and then you'll go to heaven and be with your loved ones and all this sort of thing. It's kind of told to you as if you'll be in this body, like you'll the bodies that we're all in now, and you're all listening to me say this in. Um, it kind of taught to you as if you'll be there as we are now, and in the body I'm in now is kind of how it's taught. But in essence, these bodies die and fade away, and as we see, we either burn these bodies or we bury them, and the body is in effect gone. It's the vessel. It's the vessel what we're in. The consciousness is in this vessel. So my theory, or my reckoning of this, or understanding of it, is whatever is next. It's not this. It's not this. It's not this world. It's not this earthly world. It's not these bodies. These bodies are in effect gone by then. So whatever happens next, it's not this, and people seem to think that heaven will be this, if you know what I mean. And it's just you're dead, but everybody's made of light, and it's white, and your best mates and all the people you know are there just like you, and you all sit down and have a coffee, kind of. I don't know, you know what I mean. But that's the kind of way it's taught to you, that we'll all be there in our bodies. And but in essence, my belief is we won't. That's whatever is next. Should it be next? We won't be in these bodies. These bodies are dead and gone. Whatever it is, it's another realm of or another dimension or another experience, and there's no guarantee for me that this is what's going to be next. That I will not be in this body wherever we go. Say we're all there together. I don't believe personally that I'll be in this body, that I'll be talking to any of you people looking like, Duncan Smith fucking casting the name Jeff Turner all over the internet like you mean something. I will I will not be Jeff Turner in the afterlife. You know what I mean? So um, I won't be John either. Duncan. I won't be John or Simon or Michael or Paul or Liam. Um, so yeah, what's next? And it isn't this, but it's kind of everybody. I think believes anybody who kind of believes it is this. If you know what I mean, that you'll be there in your body and you'll be talking like my dad, who obviously died. I'll be talking to my dad in his physical body, looking like my dad. I can't get my head. That's the easiest way to accept it, but it's my head cannot grasp that because in effect, I burned my dad. I sent him into a fiery furnace. Received his remains in a box and his ashes, and I distributed them on a beach. Um, so yeah, like it's that body's well gone. You know what I mean? It's well gone. I in half effect disposed of his body. So I can't see how. I don't know. I don't know. But to me, I don't think that heaven, be whatever it is somewhere where we will have a physical existence in these bodies. Is my kind of understanding of it. And I mean, time will tell. I have this conversation with many people, and the ultimate answer to it all is we'll all get the answer eventually. We all will get to find out whether this is true or false, or what happens next, or we all get to know. We all get to know. Life is short. And if the prophecy's got anything to go by, could be even shorter. So, Shroud of Turin, Jesus crucified, died 3 days, resurrected, put the body in the Shroud of Turin, in my belief, while he was, it's over here, crucifixion and the death on the cross. Shroud of Turin, the pierced side. So obviously there's the famous tale that Jesus' side was pierced with a spear, and there is obviously saying here that there is evidence for the pierced side. So anyway, we'll play a bit of the video and see what it's going to say. I've talked shit for fucking 8 minutes, and we've got into none of this.
Perhaps no religious artifact on planet Earth creates as much fascination and controversy as the Shroud of Turin. Is this the real burial cloth of Jesus of Nazareth? Well, Dr. Jeremiah Johnston, an expert on the shroud, believes the evidence for it is now beyond all doubt. So, my friend, that is a huge statement. Why do you believe that?
Well, it's great to be with you, Raj, on CBN News. I believe that based on the evidence, 102 scientific disciplines have spent over 600,000 hours of scientific study on the Shroud of Turin. And the great majority of them have concluded the shroud is indeed 2,000 years old. And based on my biblical scholarship, I can assure you that no one was crucified the way Jesus of Nazareth was crucified on April 3rd, AD 33. We know the exact date. It's the best established fact of the ancient world. And so
April the 3rd, 33 AD. Yeah, it's like the other day I posted the video Noah's Ark found again, because despite Ron Wyatt being, he was a bit of a charlatan. Ron Wyatt, he made up a lot of stuff, to be honest, and a lot of stuff he said didn't come true or he seemed falsified. But despite all that, it doesn't mean that he wasn't right once. That's the other side of it. Just because you're wrong a lot and you make a lot of stuff up doesn't mean you can't still be right sometimes. That's the beauty of anything, I suppose. Just sometimes you can be right. But it was coming back out that I think this thing in Turkey is Noah's Ark. Somebody else has come out and said it now, and they believe it to be Noah's Ark. So here we have a tale of an ark, a flood, a boat, and we think we found this boat at the top of the mountain. And we have a tale of a man who was crucified and came back to life. And here we have a cloth which we pretty much now believe was the cloth that this man was in. Um, Now, the debate rages, was he the Son of God? That's the next debate. But the evidence that there was a man called Christ or Yeshua or Jesus or whatever you want to call him, walked the earth 2,000 years ago and was crucified and performed performed miracle. Like some people, when you talk about miracles, people just say, oh, it was magic, and people at the time thought magic was miracles. It's kind of not the way of things here. Like that's the way of people trying to explain the man exists, but he isn't the Son of God. Um, because the whole God debate, it's a debate that's raged from the dawn of time till this day forth. Is God real? And no one definitively can answer that and prove it. Really, I mean, you can and you can't. You can get a lot of circumstantial. You can get a lot of historical facts saying that there is, you know what I mean. But definitively saying that there is a God, it's still sort of the debate of the world. Do you know what I mean? Half of the world don't believe in God, and half of the world do. So if there was absolute ultimate proof that there was a God, probably all of the world would believe in God. So there clearly isn't ultimate proof of God for most people. Anyhow, let's carry on.
So, based on this scientific evidence, and many of it is breaking news for your audience, such as the fact that the Institute of Crystallography in Italy has confirmed using wide angle X ray scattering technology that the Shroud of Turin, which again is currently in Italy, but is indeed 2,000 years old. We believe it to be the very burial cloths of Jesus of Nazareth. Keep in mind for your audience, and I know your audience is full of Christian thinkers, all four Gospels mention the fact that Joseph of Arimathea wrapped Jesus's body in a linen burial shroud. The Greek word is sindon, anathonia, and then sudarium. And so we're believing.
I mean, all I ever think when I start to hear all this stuff and learn this stuff, and even Dr. David Campbell talking about the shroud, um, all I think is I need to learn this story. Like I know this story pretty well, to be honest, in terms of the biblical tale. From the start, from Genesis, the flood, the Nephilim, the giants, the Watchers, the came down to earth, you name it. I've got quite detailed knowledge of the Bible and a lot of the tales. The Old Testament to me is a bit. Um, I'm very vague on sort of the history of the Old Testament and the kings and the. I'm getting better all the time, obviously, as we learn and we go. But it's kind of like it. Well, in a way, it's sad to me at the same time. I'm mid-40s, and I don't really know the full, because it is such a big tale. To be honest, there's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of characters throughout the entire Bible. Um, I'm very impressed with a lot of people when you listen to these biblical scholars like this man here, and for them to remember all of this information, it's well, it's fucking, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's brilliant. To be able to I can remember a lot of information on a lot of subjects, like, but I kind of have to take it in two or three times for it to really start to stick with me, and I know it. You know what I mean? So we're still in the early days, really, of like learning some of this Bible, especially sort of the Old Testament stuff. But I kind of like. I need it to be told to me in the real form. I need the giants in there and the Nephilim, the Watchers and stuff. I need the real story. Don't be telling me this half-baked story. And it's like the film Noah of Hollywood. Like it's a half-baked story of Noah. Don't be telling me that. I want to know if you're telling me. If I want to know the real story. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of evidence for this Shroud of Turin. I mean, it's been a crack for all my life. Do you know what I mean? It's not a new crack. It's just it seems a lot of stuff's coming to now, like the Noah Ark coming back around, the Shroud of Turin coming round, the Pope dying, Trump and all the Antichrist stuff being shot in the head and all that sort of weirdness, and the world going to shit, and China and Russia and America, and it's all the economy, and it's kind of like we're building the bagwash, as I've said before. It's kind of like we're building to that, and it's funny how all this stuff's sort of coming out now.
Believing. We believe based on the evidence, not based on failing, not based on some kind of vibe, but based on the evidence that we do indeed have a 2,000-year-old burial shroud. Now, why do we believe it's Jesus? Raj, unlike other burial shrouds, and we have many of them that we have discovered from the land of Israel. Think about Lazarus. He's buried in a burial shroud in John chapter 11 when Jesus raises him from the dead. The unique thing about the Shroud of Turin, which is fascinating, is there is an image that is superficially embedded in the 14-foot long burial cloth of the front and back of a 5'11" man, Jewish man with a beard who has experienced trauma that matches and corresponds with all of the details of Jesus's death by Roman crucifixion. And that's why we believe it is indeed the burial shroud of Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. Can you give us a little bit of the details on the image itself? Like, how did that come to be?
This is what's fascinating to scientists, and this is what's fun for your audience. I know the 2 million subscribers of CBN News love to see ways that faith and reason intersect. And in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, which of course is attested to in the New Testament, we have this artifact, the Shroud of Turin, where you have the death, burial, and resurrection all found in one artifact from history. This is fantastic. And Enea Laboratories in Rome, Paul Delazzo, spent 5 years of his scientific life studying how much light energy would be required to leave a flash, if you will, a first century selfie, if you will, of Jesus of Nazareth in the Shroud of Turin. And again, this isn't a pastor trying to prove.
No, that's exactly what it is, and what Mel Gibson was saying, like atomic light. It's left like a photo on the blanket, um, and to me, it's like the Noah's Ark. I believe Noah's Ark's at the top of that mountain there. I believe when Ron Wyatt documentary, I believe that's Noah's Ark, to be honest. And they're coming back out now saying they think it is, and there's actually like a visitor site there, but it's like the we've been left evidence, we've been left evidence that this is all true. This, and when you think about it, though, when you step back and think about it, we have churches everywhere. It's a book everybody knows. It's passed down through time. And the year of the planet, 2025 AD, Amani Domini, after the death of Jesus Christ, the whole year of the planet is based on this event, on this very thing here. And we all wonder and wonder around whether it's true and whether it's thing, but the whole world's based on this in a way. Like, and it less and less so as we go on, but it says in the Bible that'll happen because the devil will take over, so to speak. But the whole world's based on this, and it's very hard to deny that fact when you take a step back and look at it. The year is based on it. We have churches in every town, village, and city, and you name it. Not just in this country, every country all across the world, nearly. So, you know what I mean? It's the whole world's based on this crack, to be honest.
Prove anything. This is a light scientist. And Paul Delazzo states it took 34,000 trillion watts of energy, but it
Whoa.
wasn't just the amount of energy, it was the speed. Think about when the Bible says we'll see Jesus in the twinkling of an eye. The Enea Laboratory said this 34,000 trillion watts of energy traveled in 1/40th of a billionth of a second
Oh
to
my
leave
gosh.
the image on the shroud. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it would have scorched the image and destroyed it. And the
Yeah.
image is just 2 or 3 microns thin. It disappears if you go closer than 8 feet to the shroud. And so this is what has baffled scientists. Scientists have confirmed it is not a work of art. It's not man-made. No one's worshiping some kind of man-made idol or relic here. They have confirmed there's no pigment, there's no dye. But they have also said, we have no idea how this happened. The best rocket scientists of our day, Raj, cannot explain how the image is embedded in the linen cloth. They can't duplicate it.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, just logically, it's whatever resurrected the man from some godly force. It was that. That's what's left the image. The atomic light was, in essence, what you would describe as the power of God, and it was the light or the beam or the energy that resurrected the man. That's kind of what you would have to explain it to be. Um, but fascinating and unbelievable at the same time. Like that this is now being confirmed by science that it's not a dye. They pretty much believe it's like an atomic picture that's like a light in a fraction of a fraction of a second. As you said there, any longer it would have scorched the fabric, a very thin linen fabric. So like unbelievable in a way, unbelievable.
That's so exciting. No, I know for a lot of folks, especially let's just call it a Western American Christian perspective, and myself included, there's this immediate pushback. Was like, oh, this feels like the Holy Grail. This feels Indiana Jonesy. But I've talked with you obviously over the years, and the more that the evidence comes out, it's like, guys, this might be legit, and I know you believe it 100%. But here's the most important question: what if it is the shroud? Then what does that mean?
Well, there's
It means it's all true. It means, like, we've maybe got Noah's Ark here at the top of a mountain in Turkey. We've probably got the Shroud of Turin that Jesus was in after he was crucified. I mean, there's more sites around the world as well. We think we found the stone that Moses split and got water out of when they were in the desert, and the thing they believe they found that stone that's been split, and there's many more. To be honest, if I maybe found a video on biblical sites that we think we found, and yeah, it kind of means it's all true. That's what it kind of means, and again, but everything I said before, like the entire world, year of the planet's based on this event. It's we've got a book that's lasted the age of time. We've got churches in every town and city. So is it such a big surprise in a way that this is probably true? Do you know what I mean? Um, and to me, it isn't at this point. That's the thing. It's like half of the world. This will be a revelation to. But to me, of having sort of worked my way through this over the last sort of 15 years, it's no surprise to me, to be honest, that this could all be true. There's a lot of backing for it, and in my eyes, as I've said in previous videos, the Bible's just more of a history book than anything.
There's a couple of things I want to remind your audience of, and thanks for having me. Number one, we wouldn't have a New Testament if there wasn't evidence for the resurrection of Jesus. Remember, no one expected Jesus to rise from the dead, and they're shocked when they see him. And remember Thomas in John 20, unless I see the nail prints in the wrists, unless I see the wound in the side, I will not believe. And what's awesome about Jesus, he meets us in our doubts. He doesn't shame us. He sharpens us when we doubt. And so let's not be overly pious. I say this in love to many of my Christian brothers and sisters who are watching, and oh, I have faith. I don't need evidence. I don't need artifacts. I don't need archaeology. I don't need Indiana Jones Christianity. Well, the original authors of the New Testament did. They needed evidence to see that he was alive from the dead before they authored, the 8 or 9 authors of the New Testament, what Jesus did. Remember, John said, I've written all these so that you believe, so that you believe. In 1 John 1, he said, that which we have heard, which we have seen, which our hands have handled. I mean, this is evidence. We're not talking about myths or fairy tales or fables. We're talking about real people, real places, real events. And so the implications are we have the moment of resurrection captured in a first century burial cloth. And what's so unique about this, Raj, it's tied to technology. I really believe as we get closer to the second coming of Jesus Christ, we are seeing this phenomena of a controlled revelation.
Yeah, that's the other side of it. Be all this true? This guy's coming back again. Like that's the end of the story, or the end of this bit of the story. This guy's coming back, and he's not going to be happy at all about some of the stuff that's gone down here, to be honest. So yeah, that's the other side of it. I find it brilliant that it's like not only when we all die do we get our answer, but if if we live in the Bible and we live in the book and it's Johnny Cash, we're going to finish the book. Then there's going to be sights to be seen here and wonders to be seen, and most people aren't going to believe what they're going to see because the world, it's like the Old Testament world. We don't get to see what happened and all these angels coming down and all this sort of stuff. It all got kind of abolished for us and now. But all this is coming back. All this is coming back. Apparently, that's the story. So yeah, it'd be one hell of a ride to be honest. I mean, it beats the shit out of just sitting around doing fuck all day. You know what I mean? And just pissing life away, fucking watching YouTube. Let's get rolling with some of this action. You know what I mean? Let's bring Jesus back. Let's see some fucking horses here in the sky and fucking rain and fire and fucking ash and you know what I mean. It'd be one hell of a ride, one hell of a show here. I'm fucking waiting with bated breath. To be honest, I've spent 44 years just sort of pissing around here, not doing a great deal. To be honest. So yeah, bring on the fireworks.
Of Jesus Christ tied to technology.
And you're going to Italy, what, next week to see it, right?
I'll be there next weekend, Lord willing, and I'll be filming my progress. I'll be posting about it. I have a film crew with me. It's the feat.
I quite like this guy. I might go back, find out his name, and subscribe to him or something. Um, yeah, so bada bing, the Shroud of Turin, believed to be real, all be real. And that's the other side of it. When all I'm saying there, bring on the fire and brimstone, and all this, and the fucking horses in the sky, and all this bullshit. That's the other side of the end of the Bible. It's a good thing. Yeah, everybody thinks it's a bad thing. The apocalypse and Armageddon. It's the end of the story, which ultimately the end of the story is to make everything right. And this world's gone wrong, and it's all gone wrong now, and it's all sinful, and it's done, and this world is done for, and it's the end, maybe it'd be the end of the world, but the end of something is always the start of something else, and the Bible does say that it's not the end of the world forever, you know what I mean? It's just the end of this chapter, um, and we haven't really got the next chapter written, so the future's unknown in a way, but still very known by God and known by many people, I would imagine. But it's an unknown in terms of the Bible and the book and where we're going to go from there and how long, and you know what I mean. It's kind of like the end of the book, but it's not the end of everything. It's the beginning of something else. And according to the book, it's the beginning of something better, like the reign of Jesus Christ for 1,000 years, where the earth, well, we can maybe actually get somewhere and make some progress because it isn't run by fucking evil dickheads, you know what I mean? Hell bent on just getting money out of us all. We maybe make some progress as human beings and further ourselves and spirituality, and you know what I mean? Maybe get rid of iPhones and all this shit and get back to nature, and who knows, you know what I mean? But it's I don't necessarily see it to be a bad thing. From what I see of this world at this point in time, it's pretty fucked, to be honest. So yeah, good news, bad news, good news, bad news. Take it whichever way you want. But believers in Christ, Jesus or Yeshua, don't look on the end of the Bible as bad news, because ultimately, as he says there, it's the return of Christ who is coming to sort a few things out here, sort a few things out, and let's all be honest at this point, they all need sorted out. So bring on the second coming for me, like, bring on the second coming of Christ.